How's everybody doing? I didn't bring anything with me. I was going to bring a puppy today. I had Bobble. I brought an infant last time. No props today, just me. Yeah, this will be a short one. What's that? I like it. It's on the list, but it just hasn't gotten to that point yet. Just be patient. Be patient. Yeah, a couple. We overcame by last weekend, and we're looking forward to the following weekend. So what do we got here from this Hall of Fame crew? You got any good questions? Because yeah, like I told you everything I knew last time, so I don't even know why we're doing this. Because absolutely nothing's changed except I'm 6 days older. Yeah.
I was going to ask if Bai was a more difficult opponent than you maybe thought it would be, but sounds like it wasn't.
Don't take anybody for granted. You know, can't take anybody for granted. Well, went out, put our best foot forward, overcame that adversity. Let me think up a few more cliches here. Okay. All right. Who's got something of substance? Otherwise, I got to go talk to Andy and Joe about recruiting. Yeah.
Coach, what did you do with your time over the bye, recruiting, and then I guess how is that going to play that week off with your team moving forward as you prepare?
We worked out Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and we're going to go Monday and Tuesday. We're going to take Wednesday off, practice Thursday, play Friday. So that's kind of we gave the guys a little bit of time, but we also, actually our volunteer assistant, Jock Lammer, ran the practices on Thursday and Saturday, and Andy and Joe and I went out recruiting. So it was good. You know what? It's good. They need to get away from us every once in a while, and we need to get away from them every once in a while. We love each other. You know, it's a happy marriage and all that, but every once in a while, it's just good to take a little break from one another. And Jock was excited to go out and work with the guys, and a weekend off. Weekend off is rarely a bad thing for us at this place. Yeah.
Coach, I see Shane Sterrett is doing really well with the Oilers. Can you just talk about that? I don't know if you've spoken to him at all, or.
You know what? Not a whole lot, but I saw the tweet where he's undefeated in his last 9 games, and I mean I can't imagine that he's not going to get a crack at some point in time. It looks as though he signed with the right team, and I'm not an expert on the National Hockey League, but a guy that's doing that well at the American League level, I can't imagine that he's not going to get an opportunity somewhere, sometime, at some place. Yeah.
Have you talked to him about it at all? Or?
No, I have not. No. You know, it's the old song. He's got his troubles, I got mine. Yeah. Maybe we'll get together at the end of the season and discuss all that. But right now, just trying to get the Falcons on track and stay on top of recruiting, which gets tougher and tougher and tougher. Nothing's easy.
Yeah. All right. Last one for you from me. When you were a goalie, did you have any superstitions?
I was crazy that way, not washing my stuff after a win and that type of thing. Good. Luckily, I wasn't that good a goalie, so I washed my stuff pretty regular. But putting on the one skate at one time and little things in the net, and yeah, I was kind of quirky and goofy. You know what, though? I think athletes are that way in a lot of different ways. Like, hockey goalie kind of lends itself to it. Baseball, same thing. Guys' mannerisms when they come up to the plate, or a pitcher on the mound, that type of thing. Do certain. So some guys jump over the baselines when they're coming out, and they're like, yeah. I mean, I had a little bit of quirkiness. You know what? Be honest with you, some of that stuff is just kind of just a little bit of I want to say maybe a healthy distraction, from the pressures of the position,
Sure.
Yeah.
Normal. Most goalies do that then, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Coach, when you talk about how talented Billy is between the pipes and the talent that he has, do you maybe wish that he might have a chance at the next level or be able to take his talents to professional level?
Well, first, Billy's proven himself. He's done real well, and And Billy, there's no question, Billy can play at the next level. Now, the next level is not the NHL, but Bill is also a senior now. Shane left after his sophomore year before his commitment started, and Bill has needed this. But there's no question in my mind. He's an all-league goalie. He's going to be an all-league goalie this year in our league, and I think, depending upon how he finishes, I think he should be considered as an All-American. That's how good and that's how solid and consistent he's been. But your team has a lot to do with that too. If we could play better in front of him and get him into some bigger games, and the stage that he got on last year with the NCAA tournament, I mean that put him right out there. And this year, obviously, the team that's playing behind him hasn't hit their stride, and if they can, and we can go deep again, I think Bill would have a chance at some of those types of accolades. I mean, a thing now for him at the in terms of playing afterwards, now with the NHLers not playing in the Olympics right now, he may have a legitimate chance at that world-class athlete program, and that would be a possibility. And I know Army's goalie is getting out on the Palace Chase. The Army, the goalie from 2 years ago, is getting out after 2 years. And because I got a call, he's actually stationed down here at Fort Carson with a couple other guys, the DeCenzo boy and a couple others, and they called up here looking for some ice so he could come out and get some shots at him. So, for Bill, that's where it would be. Right now, he's just planning on going to his assignment. But one possibility would be maybe the world-class athlete program. The other one would be that Palace Chase, the 2 years, and then serving the rest in the reserves. But that's way above my pay grade. We'd have to send that up the chain of command and see where it went. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. We're putting the pieces in place, but we're not there yet. We obviously we don't want to do anything now that's going to distract from him and the team finishing as strongly as we possibly can.
When you recruited him, what stood out? What drew you to his talent on the ice?
Well, we recruited him like a long time, but we couldn't get him to come our way. And he was in the USHL in Des Moines, and I remember going and talking to him when he was actually still had 2 more years of junior eligibility. And I remember going to Des Moines and watching him practice, meeting with him afterwards, and couldn't get him to twitch. And then played another year and then he went to the BCHL. And for whatever reason, I mean, when you look at Bill, when you watch him, he doesn't wow you. Like Shane Sterrett wowed you. Shane Sterrett was a 6'5" athlete. I mean, he could slam dunk a basketball backwards, and he had that kind of silly athletic ability. And where Bill's just he's a goalie. Like Bill's not going to wow you. He's just constantly there. His thing is just simplicity. And I would say, when we had him here, Shane was a better athlete. Bill was a better goalie. And, Bill's athleticism has gotten better. He's gotten physically stronger. And I think the academy deal, with the run of goalies that we've had, with the run of goalies that Army's had, there's something about these academies coming into a structured environment, the programs that these kids go through, because it's a lot, the position is a lot mental. And there's got to be something to the fact those kids come here and they get stronger mentally. There's just something about the environment that's good for goalies, because, we're not getting our choice of the top goalies. We're getting leftovers. That's what we get. I mean, and it's amazing that we've been able to accomplish what we've accomplished in terms of winning championships and going to NCAA tournaments and knocking off teams that are ranked in the top 5 and the top 15. It's amazing because we don't get first choice. We don't get second choice. We get what's left over. The kids we get either weren't offered scholarships or they were offered partials or walk-on deals, and they end up coming here. Our kids come here because this is their best deal. For an education, for a scholarship, for a career after they graduate, and also playing in a program that's done pretty darn well at the Division I level. But those are the facts. And Bill, nobody offered Bill a scholarship. Nobody offered Shane. Well, Shane Sterrett did have an offer from one Division I school, and they decommitted him, and that's how we ended up picking him up late. And so it's obviously it's an imperfect science. In regards to Bill, Bill's all goalie. Like, he is all goalie, and he is so calm and cool in there. And so is Shane. I do think that's the difference. Like, I was a high-strung little guy, and I was probably my own worst enemy at times. I get too wound up. These guys are, they're competitors. They're fierce competitors, but they're calm, and they've got a great calm demeanor to them. And it's chaotic out there, and it's a pressure-filled position, and you have to be able to handle that. And Shane found a way to handle that, and Billy's found a way to handle that, to be able to challenge or channel all that, because all that those what would you say, feelings, or the chaos, it just like it can. Hey, it drives me crazy on the bench, and I can't imagine what it's like in the net. I remember my most vivid thing with a goalie, my vivid memory was we had to bring a goalie in early one year when we graduated Vulcaning, because we didn't feel we had a good enough goalie. So we brought a goalie in, and we brought him in a year early. He was young, and he was a year younger than we like to bring goalies in, and it was Jason Torf. And he came in, and Torfy had that calmness about him in the net. And I remember we're playing in the NCAA tournament against Yale, and we're in overtime. And I remember there's a TV timeout, and I remember Torfy's down in the net, his arms on top of the net. He's got his lid up, and he's talking to the ref, and he's like laughing and having a fun conversation with the referee. And I'm like ready to have a heart attack on the frickin' bench, and I'm going like, how can he be that way, But those, but it's obviously being able to channel those emotions and that type of thing is a positive thing, because if not, it can eat you up, it can get the best of you, and not everybody can handle that. Shane found a way. Billy's found a way. Very, very cool, calm, collected, but underneath the fire burns. They're competitive, and it's just something that, like, I'm just that type A guy. I just don't understand how people can be that way. Probably when it's all said and done, we'll have lived a lot longer if I could, but we'll see. That'll play out too. Yeah.
You mentioned last week that the final 6 games is on the guys in the locker room to find out what they want. Did that message get to them? Did you embark that on them?
You know what? Who knows? Joe put out a tweet that he got from that Ken Hitchcock put out about this time of year. And this time of year, like, the coaches can't want it more than the players. If the coaches want it more than the players, you're in trouble, and you're probably not long for this season. And, will our guys be able to figure it out? I don't want to say they don't want it, but collectively, are they going to be able to put this thing together and maximize their potential and become the team that they have the potential to become? We haven't to this point. We got 6 games to figure it out. I talked to Andy and Joe before I walked down here, and I was looking at the practice plans and just saying all we can do is coach the things that we need to coach, the things that we need to get better at, that we need to improve on from game to game. That's all we can control, and the rest is up to them. Now, we're not going to make it miserable, and we're going to encourage them, and we're going to try to inspire them and all that type of thing. But at the end of the day, they're the ones that have got to figure this thing out. They're the ones that are on the ice. And like I said, we as a coaching staff can't want it more than the players want it. They have to want it more. And obviously, we need to start seeing that in their play. Have we seen it? Yeah, we've seen it, but not consistently. And this time of year, consistency usually wins out, or I should say lack of consistency ends up being the beginning of your demise.
Frank, what are the keys, I guess, to jump-starting the offense? The defense statistically has been good. The offense,
obviously, like special teams, we need to. if we can be a +1 or a +2 on special teams, I mean, that's going to get us a couple. And I talk to the boys, and you try to like come at every different angle. And not every line is going to score every game. But I'm going like, if we can be a +1 or +2 on the special teams, and we've got 4 lines, if we've got 2 lines that can be even and 2 lines that are a +1, that's going to give us 3 or 4 goals. And if we're playing well defensively with Bill in the net, that should be enough for us to win on most nights. So you look at different ways, to take some pressure off and make the guys go, yeah, we can do this, and simplify the approach and that type of thing. But that's what we do. And so what's the key to scoring more goals? Obviously, we need to do it by committee. We don't have a pile of blue chip forwards that are expected to do it because they're going to be going to the American League or the NHL next year. We have to do it by committee with 5-man offense. Our D has done a pretty good job of helping generate offense from the back line. And our forwards, we need to get a little bit more of it. And probably, as we've talked about in the past, I don't want to get repetitive, but we've talked about shooting more pucks, turning pucks around, get them to the net, getting bodies to the net, and just putting more pressure on the opposing cage, playing more in the offensive zone. Hey, we've seen it, we've done it. You guys have seen it with us for many, many, many years now, and this group, a good portion of the guys in this team have been on 2 teams that made it to the NCAA Final Eight, and eyelash twice of making it to the Frozen Four. So they know what it looks like, and they just have to embrace that as a group and be collectively determined and go out and put their best foot forward and find a way to get it done. I mean, this is hockey. It's sports. It's not. We're not, again, I say splitting atoms. I mean, this is sports. This is team sports, and generally we get things done here because when the years we've gotten it done, we got it done because we've been deep, old, and collectively we've been committed, and that's what we're going to find out. We're going to find out a lot about our team over the next 6 games. And we're either going to figure it out, put our best foot forward, we're going to make it happen again, or it's going to be somebody else's turn.
Your defense coming into the year, much younger. What's your assessment of how the underclassmen on the blue line are playing?
I'd like to see. We've got 2 freshmen right now that are at 6 or 7, at 6 and 7. They both taken some steps as of late. Our sophomores. First of all, Cook and Bailey. Bailey's, I think, is our most improved player as a senior. Bailey's been great back there. Cook is Cook, and he's a really good player for us. And then Mirages is a man back there. I think Maynard has really come on. I think Maynard has really taken a step, and he's playing really good hockey right now. Levin gives us some testosterone, some physical presence back there. He's been a little he's been a little inconsistent in his game, but we like him. We like him back there. He and Mirages bring us a little bit of, like I said, some toughness, some testosterone back there. And then, Mantero, he's been on the uptick. Ekberg hasn't played a lot, but he played last game and played a little bit better. So it's going in the right direction. I wish we had one more veteran guy back there, but we don't. And I don't think if all these guys play to their ability, I don't think it precludes us from being able to accomplish what we want to accomplish. But I think it's going in the right direction. We're going to bring in a bunch of them next year, you got to be strong. You got to have a goalie, and you build it from the inside out. And so to answer your question, I just answered your question without really answering it. Yeah.
Can you expand a little bit more about what Matt Cook has done for this team?
Well, Matt is our leader. This group of seniors have done a good job in supporting. We had some Type A guys with Ledford and we had Abood, and these guys did Baskin, and these guys did a good job supporting those guys. They were like attached to the hip with those guys. Those guys are gone now, and this group's not. They don't talk as much, and they're not. They're not as quite as Type A. Cook is our guy that is our biggest communicator. Giesler. Hake a little bit, but they're not a big talking group. But Cook is kind of our guy, and you know, he's kind of the main guy. And you know, right now the seniors, we've told the seniors that, you know, this is your swan song. This is you know, this is the end of your legacy. How do you want it to be? You know, you guys, in trying to just inspire them to help try to get that room together in some way, shape, or form. And we've had good talks with them, and they're doing the best they can. Hey, like, I think our guys care, and like, we just have to, you know, figure some things out and eliminate some mistakes. It's more, you know, you talk about how we're going to score more goals. Like, I worry more about us than I do about our opponent. You know, I always say, before you can beat other opponents with consistency, you have to first learn how not to beat yourself. And there are times still late right now that Friday against Bentley, we beat ourselves, you know. And then Saturday we played better, but it wasn't enough. Bentley was better, and it just wasn't enough. They're on a roll. But I don't know. That's kind of where it's at.